Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Friday, the 13th of March 2026. In today's Mill news, the television has come calling yet again. I made a offhand remark in yesterday's video about, well, they're not going to change the West Brom game, are they? I mean, come on, it's West Brom. No, they have. So we seem to be the main story. We are the romance story. We are the dreamers story this season. If we get to the Premier League, this is the story. This is the narrative. This is what they want to put on television. So, this is what it's going to be like until the end of the season. Because I guarantee next week they will almost certainly move the QPR game. They always move it. Because it's a London derby and the police want it moved, so they always move it. But here we go. If you didn't know, this is from millwallfc.co.uk. Lions to travel to West Brom on a Friday night. Yes, they have moved Saturday 3 o'clock kickoff to a Friday night. It is the West Brom away game. Millwall Sky Bet Championship trip to West Bromwich Albion will take place on Friday the 10th of April, kick-off at 8 p.m. The fixture at the Hawthorns, originally scheduled for Saturday the 11th of April, will now be shown live on Sky Sports Football. Tickets for the fixture will go on sale soon, so keep an eye on that. As a reminder, selections for matches will now be announced weekly, based on a 4-week rolling basis. For example, next week's announcements will cover the period around the weekend of the 18th of April, which is when we will play QPR, and that will be moved to a 12:30 kickoff. So, I mean, what can you say? It's annoying. It is annoying. It's not a home game, so it doesn't affect the season ticket holders, and we a lot more of us can now watch it on television, because it's going to be shown live, and they probably would have only given us 2,500 seats anyway. So, although the ones that are probably most pissed off are the ones that were going to go to this game, who were going to travel, and now it's a Friday night. So, in terms of driving there, bit of a nightmare. Getting the coach, having to do that on a Friday, so you're gonna have to take a day off work if you've got a job. And be like all of these games, it's an 8 o'clock kickoff. So even though the station is just down the road, it's a very short walk. It's not a main station that goes to London, so you have to change. And looking at the trains, it looks like you won't. It's going to be very tight to get out of the game, especially these days with the 10 minutes of extra time in the second half and 5 minutes of extra time in the first half, extra 15 minutes at least to the game to get on a train and get home. So there you go, a bit of a nightmare. But here we go. I hate this image now. I've come to this Pavlovian response of hating this image and hating this close-up of this woman's chin. So I presume it's a woman and not Robbie Savage, but you never know. This is from EFL.com. So these are the other matches they've selected. So they've moved us to a Friday night. The East Anglia Derby, as Jade Goody would have put it, rest in peace. That was already set to an early kickoff, so they knew what was coming. They knew that this was going to get selected for TV. So obviously, a game like that, you can't really have it in the evening. So they've, for some reason, selected QPR versus Bristol City and Coventry versus Sheffield Wednesday. That's been moved to 12:30 as well. But there you go. And yet again, Bromley, we go on about how bad it is for Buster. How many Bromley games have been moved to an early kickoff to facilitate television coverage? They for some reason love Bromley, don't they? Obviously it is, they were in non-league, a season ago, and they look to be going up to League One. Quite the story. So, like I said, in terms of being a television broadcaster, you're looking for stories. That's why Wrexham, that whole thing, that gets pushed all the time. That's all very weird and crazy. Now that, at the moment they're doing, KSI's bought a share of Dagenham and Redbridge, and now, that's going to be a thing now. So, but, it is what it is. But here we go. So, what that means. So these are the fixtures at the moment. So just a little reminder, obviously. I've just realised as well. This is like what, the fourth away game in a row that's been an early kickoff. No, oh no, the West Brom is not an early kickoff. Aha, this is the thing. They probably heard the Millwall fans complaining about an early kickoff. Said, oh, okay then. You don't like the early kickoffs? We'll put you on a Friday night. But all of our away games have been, like, Hull's moved, Ipswich has moved, Middlesbrough has moved, and now this West Brom game's been moved. We moved this ourselves. This wasn't TV. And people don't understand. I think it's for the players, so they can get home earlier and spend time with their family while the sun's still out. Because you got to remember, British summertime kicks in. It's already kicked in America, but British summertime doesn't kick in America. Their version, obviously, be a bit crazy if they called it British summertime. They call it daylight savings time. Ours kicks in Sunday the 29th. So by the time we get to this Norwich City game, it'll be sunset, probably about 6 p.m, 7 p.m, something like that. So you get an early kickoff. The players and everyone can go home, the staff, and spend some daylight time with their families on Easter Monday, bank holiday. So this is the game here. But again, so we play Friday, Monday, Friday. Again, they keep throwing obstacles at us, don't they? They keep throwing obstacles. They do keep throwing obstacles at us. Luckily enough, the club already moved Monday kickoff to an earlier time. Isn't that lucky? So, the West Brom game, it's fixed now. It's going to take place when it takes place. You can book your trains, you can book your travel, you can book all of that stuff. Stop and buy the tickets when they come available. QPR game can still be moved. Stoke game won't be moved, but the kickoff time could change. That's, again, is an away game. 8 o'clock kickoff. Because whenever Sky put a game on their main television channel, it always has to kick off at 8 p.m, not 7:45. So this could move to an 8 p.m. kickoff. Leicester, that could move. Oxford, it's already been moved. The entire last game of the season programme for the Championship has been moved. It's on Saturday the 2nd of May at 12:30. So it's already been moved. So, these are the games that can still be moved. And, if we are still, after we got the next 3 games are really tough games, if we're still up there, obviously these games will be moved. The Leicester City game, they have to give the decision for that on the 24th of March, which is after the Ipswich game. So if we beat Ipswich, the Leicester game's going to get moved for sure. Absolutely it will. No doubt about that. So, and like I said, I am 100% convinced that the QPR game will be moved, and that will be moved to an early kickoff. Just on the police want it an early kickoff anyway, so there you go. That's the rearranging of the fixtures, as they say. Talking of fixtures, now this ticket is highly anticipated. Millwall versus Norwich City, the game that was in jeopardy but is going ahead on Easter Monday, 1 p.m. kickoff. Tickets are on general sale now. They're on general sale now. It's the Category A fixture, which is the most expensive. And, much like the Charlton game, I think, the Charlton game sold out about 2 weeks ahead. This is 23 days, 15 hours, 23 minutes, and 28 seconds in the future. I wouldn't, if you are fussy and care about which stand you're sitting in, because you want to sit where you always sit. If you're a casual, if you're a member, if you buy tickets game by game, get in as early as you can. Because if you leave it, you might have to sit in the south stand, and your choices might be very limited. If you don't care, just wait. Obviously, this game won't be on television in the UK. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. But so the only way to officially see it, if you are in the UK, is to go to the game at the Den. But if you wait, now there are obviously Blackburn home game. A lot of people prefer, especially the older folks, and the people that live further away and don't want to use the internet or have dodgy posts, they wait until they go to the game. So no doubt there will be Norwich City tickets sold tomorrow, because obviously the Blackburn home game, there'll be people, while they're there, they'll take advantage of that ability to use the ticket office in person and buy a real ticket and get a real ticket. So after that, I think if you don't buy one before the Ipswich game, if we beat Ipswich, this is going to sell out pretty quick, I would imagine. So, but it's up to you, Now, I told you yesterday, and they don't hang around, nominations. Well, here we go, look at that. Femi Azeez wins EFL Sky Bet Championship Player of the Month award. How about that then? Oh, sorry, I'm not allowed to do that anymore. It's against the rules. Millwall Football Club is delighted to confirm that Femi Azeez has been named as the EFL Sky Bet Championship Player of the Month for February 2026. Contributing toward 5 Millwall goals in addition to his goal of the season contender against Birmingham City, Azeez was in red-hot form, and as a result, fought off competition 3 other players to claim the reward, who they're not going to tell us who they are, but I'm absolutely delighted to win this award. It's a special moment for me. I have to thank my teammates as well. It's been a good month, and we just need to keep going now. Head coach Alex Neil added, "It's well deserved, He's been our main talisman this year, and every time he's been on form, we've definitely carried an extra threat at the top end of the pitch. I think this month, with the number of points we've accumulated and the run we've been on, has been the catalyst for that. So, congratulations, Femi, by the way." Obviously, Alex Neil himself was nominated for an award. He did not win that award. So obviously there is a curse attached to the Manager of the Month award. Although, logically, if you think about it, to get the Manager of the Month award, you need to win and win and win and win and win. And obviously, the more wins in a row you get, the more likely you are to then not win, because it's not an easy thing to do. You just keep winning and winning and winning. So obviously, inevitably, the longer that streak goes on, it must finish, and it will finish. So, Alex Neil, Manager of the Month, curse has been avoided? ? We'll find out tomorrow. There you go. Player of the Month. Now, talking of... Now, that was for last month. How about this month? Obviously, we've already had the whole game. We had the Derby game. We've got Blackburn. Then we've got Ipswich. And then we don't have another game until April, because there's an international break. Now, we have a big game. Obviously, we have a big game tomorrow. That's, first and foremost. That is a big game tomorrow. It's a very hard game. It's not going to be easy. It's the type of game that is, it's a banana skin. It's, it's a banana skin times 100. But we have 3 big games coming up right here, right now. Blackburn, Ipswich, Middlesbrough. And just like that, we have Femi Azeez. This is from TWTD. I don't know what that means, by the way, but it's tractors, wanking tractors, I don't know. Independent Ipswich Town Forum. They have a news page, they do all that stuff, .co.uk. Their left back, who's a very good left back, he's been playing very, very, very well. Except against Leicester City, he was a bit naughty. He did an off-the-ball incident. Well, now he's been banned for 3 matches, which includes their home game against Millwall. Here we go, which, by the way, is on television. It's on ITV4, by the way. The real television. So how about that? So a perfect opportunity for Femi Azeez to rip whoever is playing a left back a new one. He's not coming up against the main man. The main man is going to be suspended. So here we go. Isn't this fortuitous? I should say so. So there we go. Obviously, Femi Azeez has to get through tomorrow's game. I'm not going to read it, but, you can find out. He's got 3-match ban for an off-the-ball incident. So there you go. Now, moving on to this. Fans Forum Summary. Mill's Fans Forum took place in Harry's Bar on Thursday night. Take a look at the minutes from the evening below. Where are they? Where? Oh. Click here to read. Can you see this okay? Shall we zoom in? Right. So first up, we had Alex Neil and Mark Fairbrother, Muff, and Steve Gallen. Financial results and investment. The meeting opened with the discussion of the club's latest financial results and investments over the past year. MF highlighted significant spending on players and facilities, noting that recent accounts reflect the timing of player sales and reinvestment. Yeah, we talked about this the other day, was it? Obviously, the facilities are Calmont Road, and then buying the freehold for Calmont Road, and then spending money on Calmont Road. And obviously, the players, who the players are. You see them week in, week out, except for when they're injured. Operating cash flow remains negative, with losses in the millions despite revenue growth. Over 20 million was spent on player registrations and facility investment in the latest period. Cash has been used to restart capital projects that had previously been paused, which one assumes is West Kingsdown. But obviously, operational performance and KPIs. What's a KPI? Sounds lovely. It's a key performance indicator. MF reviewed progress against the club's 5-year strategic plan. The club reports being 1 point ahead of the plan. The board monitors 15 KPIs, most currently rated green. Ongoing operating losses mean the club remains reliant on family financial support. FA charges and fan conduct. MF addressed recent FA charges relating to discriminatory chanting. The club and support groups have condemned the chant as ableist and unacceptable, but the club believes that the actions of a small minority, mainly at away games, are affecting the wider fan base. Hard disagree. It's not ableist. Here's the thing, and it's not a minority. It was most of the fans at the Oasis, the ones that sing. Yeah, some people they don't get involved in that, which is fair enough, If you call every single Charlton fan a spastic, then none of them are spastics. Everyone cannot be a spastic. Using the word spastic, I've just used it 3 times. I'm going to use it a 4th time now. Spastic. Saying that word is not offensive unless you say it to an actual spastic, which we would never do. I would never do. And here's the thing. You could say, if Millwall fans were chanting at the disabled section, which is usually at the front of the stand. We have ours at the back. Obviously, the away fans are at the front, and some of them, they're quite funny because they do like to give it, but you can kind of feel, you kind of just laugh at them. It's funny, when you get a disabled that likes to, gesticulate towards the Mill fans. It's quite funny. If Mill fans were chanting or even individually shouting at disabled away supporters, any language like spastic or any other language like that, that would be absolutely disgusting. I wouldn't endorse that at all. And I imagine at the stadium, in the moment, there would be fans that would tell that person to shut the fuck up and wind it in. But that doesn't happen, because what we're doing is we are calling all Charlton fans spastics, all Crystal Palace fans spastics, which means, it is not this serious. It is not this serious that the FA should be talking about closing the ground down. It is seriously not that serious. It is completely seriously not that serious. At all. Millwall are not alone in facing FA scrutiny. So it's obviously some people saying we're being selectively targeted, with several Championship and Premier League clubs undergoing similar processes. Well, all of this stuff is public. You can see it if it's there. And I don't agree with that. I think there is an agenda. I think, what it might be is obviously the FA is mainly based in London. And I think obviously they get free tickets to go to games here and there. And like you said, why was there an FA person at the Crystal Palace game in the first place? Whatever their job was called, and why aren't they named in the report? They get to remain faceless, whereas we've got Mr. Sayer this and Mark Fairbrother that, and this person and that person. They get named in the report, but the FA, whatever the fucking made up job name was, they get to remain nameless and faceless. Why were they even at Selhurst Park? Because they're based in London. They're probably a Crystal Palace fan and they work for the FA. What's his name? Southgate. It might have even been fucking South. Can you imagine if it was Southgate and he's the one who grasped us up? That would be amazing. Absolutely amazing. Wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me at all. But yeah, I think maybe it's just because they go to the games in London. Like I said, maybe some of their fans are, Charlton fans, Crystal Palace fans, the people that work for the FA, that they're fans of these, middling, like, no-mark clubs. I doubt that you obviously, did Andy Ambler move on and work for the FA for a moment, or was it the league? I don't know, but you don't really get, I doubt that there's any staff members at the FA that are Millwall fans. It's kind of like it's like a political, like, job, it's like working for the council, not like, digging up the roads or cutting down trees, but like in the offices with all the weirdos. You're like, these people are weirdos. Like, why do I want to work there? I wouldn't want to work there. So you get like a lot of no-mark clubs fans, they work for the FA. Or even, people, have you ever met these people? What team do you support? Because they're watching the football in the bar. Oh no, I don't have a specific team. I just love football. I don't have a favourite team. It's like, I don't think you understand football, my friend. I don't think you understand. You don't get it. If you don't support a team, then what the fuck are you doing here? But yeah. In a recent case, possible penalties range from no action to £100,000 of stadium closure, though Millwall received a £45,000 fine plus legal costs. Defending these cases requires significant staff time and legal resources, including external law firms and King's Counsel representation. The club receives numerous FA inquiries throughout the season, most of which never become public. FA inquiries for what? So that literally just proves it then. they're constantly bothering the club with things to try and take it further. And I told you in the video the other day that there were 2 charges, and when Millwall admitted the first charge, they couldn't even be bothered to carry on with the second charge, because it's not about proving that you did something wrong. It's just about getting you. We got to get them. We got to get them. We got to get these. We got to get them. Yeah. So, once the club admitted the first charge, we've got them. We don't. It doesn't matter about the other charge. Don't forget that, because we've got them, because they admitted it. The club will defend supporters where possible, but cannot defend clearly unacceptable behaviour. Fans were asked to help prevent a small minority damaging the club's reputation and finances. Here's the thing. Like I said the other day, you give us a list, whether that's on the record or off the record, unofficially through the fans forums. Give us a list of the words that we can't say, because we do not live in your made-up hyper-reality world of bullshit woke nonsense. We live in the real world with real people who say real things. So you give us a list of the words that we can't say. Obviously, we know the main one, the one that begins with N, which, that's an American word anyway. Like, I don't think we don't say that word here. That's an American word. We say black and then this and that, and that's racist apparently. You can call someone a cunt, but you can't call them black man, That's racist. So there you go. But like I said, let's test this, because the rules say you can't discriminate against race or ethnicity. The next game, well, probably not the next one, the next away game, call the opposition white bastards or white cunts and see if we get a charge about that. We're not going to get a charge about that. 100%, I'll tell you. Injury disclosure policy. Alex Neil explained the club's policy of limiting injury information publicly to avoid giving opponents a tactical advantage. Current injuries are considered short-term, generally under 4 weeks. Okay. Who asked that then? I guess that's if someone asked about injuries, surely it would be about why we have so many injuries, not about why aren't you telling us who's injured. Not only that, but in terms of like the betting markets and that, I guess you don't want to be messing with that. Manager commitment and player selection. Alex Neil reaffirmed his commitment to the club and explained that team selection is based on training, performance and development. He highlighted the progress of younger recruits who have become regular contributors to the squad. Recruitment strategy and promotion planning. Steve Gallen outlined recruitment planning under 2 scenarios: promotion to the Premier League or remaining in the Championship. The club maintains a 2 recruitment list tied to each scenario, so they've got extra work to do. Because we're at the top of the table, although I imagine you should, at the start of the season, you should have 3 lists. You should have 1 for if we go up, 1 if we stay in the division, and 1 if we get relegated. Although that would be an absolute nightmare. So you probably don't want to bring that on, but I guess if we get relegated, it's all, it's just emergency. Pull the emergency cord. League One is viewed as an important recruitment market alongside international scouting. Department heads have been asked to assess staffing and operational gaps in preparation for potential promotion. We have seen, they've been advertising for jobs. We have seen, like, assistant this, assistant that, to help with the people that are already there. 3 architectural firms have been invited to review Premier League stadium compliance. They are getting quotes for work that needs to be underdone if we get promoted by 3 firms. How about that? Squad contributions. When asked to name a player of the season, Alex Neil declined to single out one player. Very smart. Very smart. Mill fans tried to lay a trap for him, and he didn't fall into it. Instead, highlighting the strength of the squad and contributions from players including Tristan Kramer, Jake Cooper, Femi Azeez, Josh Coburn, Billy Mitchell and Casper De Noor. The manager emphasised squad depth and impact of substitutes throughout the season. Contracts and transfers. Steve Gallant confirmed ongoing negotiations with players whose contracts expire at the end of this season. January offers for key players were rejected as the clubs prioritised the promotion push. For our players. I thought you were talking about who are they trying to sign that's trying to get promoted? But for our players, we know Femi Azeez was one of them. The club acknowledged that player sales remain necessary at appropriate times to manage finances. Indeed. What did we just see the other day with the accounts? They made £21 million from player sales for 2 players. 3, I think Alex Mitchell was in that. Esse and Fleming. We've just apparently knocked back 20 million for Azeez. If we get 25 million for Azeez, that pays to run the club for the next year and a bit. At the level that we're at, if we want to do even more, squad development and leadership. Steve Gallant discussed maintaining competitiveness despite potential departures. Recent signings such as Ivanovic, Coburn, Negley and Azeez were cited as examples of recruitment focused on players with strong development potential. Leadership and confidence within the squad have grown during this season. Replacing multiple departing players would be difficult, but replacing 1 or 2 would be manageable. Indeed. So, is it literally we're going to be selling 2 players every season, minimum? And then you might have a player that wants to leave. Let's say Azeez does go, the best player. Then you're going to have other players say, well, fucking, if he's going, maybe I should fucking go as well because the team's not going to be as good. It's a gamble whether you can bring someone in who's as good as him or someone's going to step up and fill that gap. It is a gamble. So, and, other players, like the Tanganga situation, maybe someone's like, I want to leave anyway, the club's, there's a lot of focus now, like, this is my opportunity because we're like, the Millwall brand is good at the moment. This is my opportunity. I can go to this club and get more money. Obviously, we don't pay big wages, really, And even if someone wanted to stay and say, I'll stay if you pay me this much, the club probably couldn't afford it, Training ground strategy. Now, this is interesting. Mark Fairbrother addressed ongoing discussions about training facilities. Planning permission has been secured for a high-spec training ground on Greenbelt land, though costs remain significant. Yes, if you've been watching the channel for a while, you'll know I cover it. I follow the plan. You can see the planning applications for yourself. If you go to Sevenoaks District Council, planning applications, and put in TN15 6AY. That's the postcode for the new training ground. Land east of Falcon Road. You can see all of the things, and they've been doing stuff. Even though, like I said, it seemed to be mothballed, they started to move forward with it, which is why this next line is kind of interesting. The club is exploring options to consolidate academy and first team facilities in South East London, including discussions with Lewisham and Bromley councils. So, what the fuck is that about? So obviously, some rumours that they weren't happy with the West Kingsdown because it's too far out and it breaks the rules of in terms of the youth team. The youth team players, they need to be able to travel to within 90 minutes of where they live. West Kingsdown is pretty too far out. We're going to miss, parts of South London. They're too far away. And maybe there's a whiz kid in West Kingsdown in Sevenoaks who's a really good footballer, but is it going to be a hotbed? I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe all of the kids are going to move out. because of the high crime, and then you'll end up with, or maybe, maybe Millwall move into West Kingsdown, they open up a school, and they train all the local Herberts up, and, we end up with, West Kingsdown becomes like the mecca of football, and all of the, the new Messi's going to come from West Kingsdown. I don't know, but so at the moment, even though they are moving forward slowly with West Kingsdown, it seems to be Plan B, and they are looking for a better Plan A, which if they don't find, then you assume West Kingsdown goes back to being Plan A, and then Plan B seems to be what they said before, that maybe Calmont Road, they would put the youth academy there, and then they won't use the one in Kidbrooke. But interesting. So they're talking with Lewisham and Bromley, but where are they going to find a place that's big enough inside London? It's kind of hard. Don't think there is any place, and if there is, developers are snapping it up because they want to build these shit boxes in the sky. So obviously it's not in Bromley, it's in Bexley, but the Barnhurst Golf Course, people are worried that's up for sale. It's been up for sale for 3 years, but obviously that's a golf course. That's been around for like 120 years. You're gonna knock that down and just turn it into a football pitch? I don't know. Modular interim facilities and recent capital investment have already improved conditions. Yeah, we've seen that. I don't know if you saw the video that was put up online with the drone shot. They spent money, basically porta cabins, but a bit step up. And they've made it better there, so. But there you go. Right. Millwall and London City Lionesses. Supporters raised questions about the relationship between Millwall and London City Lionesses and the scheduling of that London City Lioness match at the Den. Mark Fairbrother acknowledged mistakes in communication and process, accepting responsibility for not engaging the Lionesses earlier. London City Lioness had approached the club seeking a backup venue for Women's Super League licensing requirements, which is, this is what I said, before the start of the season, you have to say where your venues are going to be, and you have to fill in the form. You can't just make it up throughout the season. That's not how these things are done. So yeah, the club has since created a working group with supporters, the community trust and Lionesses to develop a clearer pathway and support structure for the women's team. Supporters were encouraged to attend the Lionesses' upcoming match against Sutton to increase attendance and revenue. Again, but here's the thing. The Millwall Lionesses that exist now, what are they, like tier 7? Like, it's not the same as when the Lionesses that London City stole and took them away, which was, I think they were tier 2 at the time. So it's like it's not the same. It's like if there was a fans game. If there's a fans game at the stadium, but it's not for raising money, it's not a charity game. If it's just a fans game, and then Millwall said, "Oh, come and watch the fans game," it's the same as watching the Millwall game because they're all Millwall fans. So it's not really, is it? It's not the same. Season ticket enforcement and stewarding. Concerns were raised about supporters being unable to access their assigned season ticket seats. The club plans to increase steward numbers and improve enforcement at home and away fixtures. That's the thing, though. You get a load of Herberts coming in, and it's you and one of your family members, or you and your mate. And if they ain't moving, you're outnumbered. You don't know them, they don't know you, but it's a bit sticky. You don't want to get in that situation, Academy development. Alex Neil highlighted several promising academy players nearing first-team contention, but noted the growing gap between academy and championship-level performance. Integrating youth players into a successful first team remains challenging without affecting results. Indeed. Second panel. So obviously this was the first hour. The second hour was Mark Fairbrother, Max McCann, Steve Turner, Stuart Hill, Philip Brownells, Lionesses and lease updates. So obviously that basically looks like they're asking the same questions, but just to different people. ST encouraged supporters to attend the Lionesses' upcoming match at the Den due to current low ticket sales. Yeah, but it's, like I said, right, it's like looking like a Sunday League team now. They're a tier 7. It's not the same as it was before. They're tier 7. Like, not being funny, but I mean, it's not the same. MF provided an update on a stadium lease process. So yeah, we've been waiting for this, and it said in the accounts the other day that they were expecting to have this signed by the end of 2025. Well, it's 2026, and we're 3 months in. What's happening here? Well, the lease package with Lewisham, between Millwall and Lewisham, includes 15 to 16 legal agreements now in final draft form. Documents are expected to be circulated for DocuSign approval shortly. A further Community Trust Board minute is required for completion. What? I think that's supposed to be meeting, not minute. A further Community Trust Board meeting is required for completion. So obviously this is affecting the Community Trust, because I think their building's going to get knocked down, is it? Or whether the football pitch is going to get knocked down. So, yeah. 3 architectural firms are preparing plans for future stadium development once the lease is finalised. So again, is now, okay. So 3 firms, it mentioned 3 firms before. Are these the same 3 firms? Is it all part of the same thing? It must be, you know. So the Premier League improvements that we would need to do if we go up, obviously that requires changes to the stadium, which requires permission from the leaseholder. The leaseholder is Lewisham Council, although they've extended our lease to 999 years. You know, it's kind of the same thing. We're making changes to the buildings that exist. So, but here we go. So they're preparing plans. Oh, is it a competition? Could it be a competition? Which obviously we won't get to vote on, but we would have input, I would say, probably back from the FAB. They come up with 3 different firms with 3 different plans, and we say, oh, we want that one. Oh, that one looks good. The club emphasised the long-term value of the lease for both the club and the local community. Indeed. Stewarding issues. Supporters raised concerns about steward behaviour and sightline obstruction for disabled fans. Well, this is the thing with where the disabled fans are situated in the Millwall end. They are in, at the back of the West Lower. So it's clear, you can't really. It's a very narrow anyway, because you got the roof or the ceiling of the stand above blocking the view anyway. So I mean, the club acknowledged these concerns. Are committed to improving steward standards, training, and recruitment. Plans include hiring more experienced stewards and recruiting through the Community Trust and Employability Hub. Oh, quid pro quo. So they have these employability hubs where they're trying to give unemployed people jobs, so they're basically going to make them stewards, whether they want it or not. Season tickets and pricing. The club confirmed upcoming ticketing changes. Aha, here we go. This is important for me, because I fucking hate email tickets. Physical season ticket cards will remain available. Members as well, or no? Interesting, they only say season ticket cards. Although you imagine, does that include memberships, where you can get the tickets uploaded to your card? A season ticket exchange system will allow supporters to release seats if they cannot attend. Pricing and concession policies were described as balancing affordability with financial sustainability. What? So they're going to put the ticket cost up. So, yeah, I mean, season ticket prices have to go up. I think they have gone up this year very slightly. But obviously, Super Saver's gone up. But you would imagine that Super Saver runs out on the 2nd. I think it's the 1st, actually. The 1st of May. So, I mean, if we're in 2nd place and we've got a 4-point gap, well, if we're in 2nd place and we've got a 4-point gap, we're already up. But you know what I mean? Like, if we're in 2nd place and it looks likely that we just have to beat Oxford and we're going up, I mean, lump in and buy your Super Saver seats, because after Super Saver runs out, they're gonna the price is gonna jack up because we'll be in the Premier League. So they're rewarding all of you buying early with the Super Saver, because you're buying it before you know what league we're in. But once they know we're in the Premier League, they must be jacking up the prices by quite a lot, because if they don't, you'll just get ticket agencies buying tickets. You'll get, Wally's, people just buying tickets to sell because you'll be getting a Man United game, you'll be getting a Liverpool game, you're getting Chelsea game, you're getting big games there. They'll be able to sell tickets for hundreds of pounds to other people. So, loyalty point system. MF explained that a Ticketmaster system change caused incorrect loyalty point balances for some fans. The issue has been escalated under service level agreements with Ticketmaster. Further system validation and potential contractual responses are ongoing. The club also acknowledged communication shortcomings and outlined investment in CRM systems and staffing to improve fan communication. Well, here's the thing, they keep bombarding you with emails all the time. I'm pretty sure I didn't get an email. No, I didn't get an email about this. No, I don't think anybody got an email about this. So it's like you can bombard emails to people about shit that doesn't matter. But this important thing that matters to the fans themselves, obviously not to you, matters to the fans, you can't send them one email about that. There you go. And you do wonder, with the loyalty point system, obviously, like I said the other day, will they start using it in a more clever way? Don't know if they can, because it looks like Ticketmaster just fucked up on the basic system. But, if you buy a ticket to a game and you don't go, if you're buying it just for the loyalty points, like a cup game, and you don't, it's very cheap, like £10 ticket, just to get some loyalty points, but you don't go, because they know you don't go because your ticket doesn't get scanned in the system. Should they then not give you the points? Are they gonna? But then, people will lose their shit with that, I would imagine. But I mean, they could be doing. They could do things like that. Like I said, they track you. They are tracking you. So safety and security. Supporters raised security concerns of recent incidents. The club stated it regularly works with EFL and FA safety advisors and maintains a high stadium of stadium safety. Several stadium offices hold NVQ qualifications. Wow! With additional staff undergoing training. NVQ. Wow, that's brilliant. That is... What does that mean? Doesn't mean jack shit. These MVQs, it's mostly box ticking stuff, You sit in a room in front of a whiteboard, or you watch a video. Video training's a thing now, and then there's a quiz afterwards, and you basically just have to repeat what you've heard in the video. It's just garbage. It's garbage. It's just box ticking. Oh, we trained this person up. They watched the video, they answered a multiple choice quiz afterwards, which was like, why is it important not to do this? Is it A, the obvious answer, B, a ridiculous answer, or C, an even more ridiculous answer? So I mean, unless you are an absolute moron, you're not gonna fail these tests. But here's the thing: even if they do fail it, they let them go. They let them do it over and over again. So I mean, There you go. Fan representation structures. Yes, you have never been represented so well. Never in history of Millwall Football Club have you been represented so fantastically. Because we have the Millwall Supporters Club, we have the Fan Advisory Board, and we have the Lions Trust. ST explained the MSC represents individual supporters and raises issues with the club. SHH explained that FAB operates as a confidential strategic advisory group with members selected through an anonymized process and serving staggered terms. They get selected by the club, and the club come to them and say, we're going to do these things. What do you think about that? Do you think it's a good idea or a bad idea? And then they say, we think it's a good idea because you selected us to be on this board. And you'll find out if any of them don't agree, because they'll probably resign from the board. PR explains the Lions Trust acts as an FCA regulated backstop in insolvency scenarios. Transport and local issues. South Bermondsey transport safety was raised as an ongoing concern by MSC and club. The issue is being discussed with Network Rail and local authorities. I mean, yeah, you would imagine though in the future, you can see the buildings that they're building all down Eildon Road, even on Old Kent Road. Some point they have to get their shit together and fix the station as overall. They've been spending money putting in lifts up and down. You see what they've done to London Bridge. If you remember, how London Bridge used to be, it's been completely transformed. It's insane what they've done. The roads underneath have gone. I remember, those roads underneath. The taxis would cut through them. Brick walled, brick arches. You walk through them, going from one place to the other, and they've turned that into the station. They've filled it in, got rid of that, and that's now where the station is. It's downstairs, and then the escalators go up. It's insane what they've done. Absolutely insane, the transformation that's taken place. And you imagine at some point in the future they have to do the same with South Bermondsey. Obviously the rails will probably stay where they are, but putting a lift in, maybe putting a station building in further down or to the side that goes up and then over, probably further along. Get rid of those rickety stairs, put in new stairs that aren't rusted all over and covered over with felt. You would imagine they've got to put in a lift, like I said. They've got to spend a bit of money on South Bermondsey at some point, just in terms of all the Section 106 money they're getting. Although here's the thing, that money goes to Southwark Council, Lewisham Council. It doesn't go to Network Rail. Network Rail own the building, so then it's up to them to say, we want to do this to South Bermondsey. Can you give us some money to the councils? Give us some of that money that you've got. So, but here's another thing as well. If we do get to the Premier League, what's going on with Southern Trains? Because Southern Trains, they have various football stadiums on their system. They have 2 Premier League ones. They got Brighton, they got Crystal Palace, they got Crawley, and they got Millwall. So, what the fuck are you doing? You should know how to manage a crowd coming out and going to a football game. So I don't know what their fucking issue is, but there you go. Fan experience issues. Supporters highlighted several practical concerns. Graffiti on railway arch murals near the stadium. Yeah, that's fucking disgusting, isn't it? What they're doing with this shit now everywhere. You see it fucking everywhere. No one gives a shit to take it off, to clean it away, or to even stop it fucking happening in the first place. It's fucking disgusting. Allocation of seats to home supporters when the stadium sells out. I don't know what that means. I don't know what does that mean. Allocation of seats to home supporters when the stadium sells out. Oh, is that the away end? People talking about even the game against Blackburn tomorrow, because the stadium's sold out, but there's still people who want to go. There's still a demand. And people say, well, why can't we put the home fans in the away end, because you can do it where it's, I think you can do not necessarily, top and bottom, but half and half. Obviously that costs a fuck ton of money to do that, because you have to basically have a whole line of stewards just standing between the two sets of fans. So yeah, that costs money. So then it's the amount of money you're making is not that much, because you have to spend all this money just to make sure the fans don't attack each other. The MSC confirmed its funding restoration of the Millwalls. MF also expressed a preference to limit away allocations to around 2,000 to maximise home support and commercial revenue. Yes, apparently, obviously this was an issue with Ipswich. They only gave us 2,100 seats. But before, in the past, they've given us something like 2,700. Well, obviously, apparently, in terms of the rules of the EFL, it's like 10% or 2,000, whichever is the most, or something like that. I don't know. So that's clearly why Ipswich have, because Ipswich view us quite rightly as a competitor to them, and they don't want us to have a lot of fans at the game that they want to win. So that's why they've only given us 2,100 seats. And I would imagine it's 2,000 seats to go and sell to the public, and probably 100 are comps or something like that, you know what I mean? So they go to the players and the board. That's probably why it's 2,100. So what they're looking to do, obviously we have a whole stand, which is probably about 3,900, and that's the away stand. But they're saying, no, because of the rules, we can get away with just giving them 2,000 every game. Every team that comes away, 2,000. So then, the rest of that can be the rest of it goes to the home fans. Or maybe even tourists. Maybe that's where they put the tourists. Because they're doing these deals with all these companies about, selling tickets to packages for, fans from abroad. That would be exciting for them, wouldn't it? They sit in the away, they sit in the bottom section. They're wearing Millwall colours, because they've been to the club shop, and the fans in the home end think they're away fans and just give them abuse all game. That would be fun. Stadium segregation and stand changes is what we're talking about. Plans were discussed to create a permanent physical segregation line within the away stand to allow more flexible ticket allocation. Okay, so again, I think I don't know where it is. It is in the west. Is it in the east lower? I think. Okay, when you go into blocks 1, 2, 3. So when you go to the west stand that's closest to the south stand, you have to go all the way around to the turnstiles around the back. You go through there. There's like a fence, like a metal fence that separates the west and the east. It's all, when you get inside, it's all connected, but it's separated by that fence. So I think they're going to put one of those fences in with a gate in the away section. So when it is all away fans, they'll open up the gate, but when it's separated, they'll close the gate. Or maybe there's like I don't know, what could they do? Like a shutter that comes down on the shop. Pull that down so the fans can't even see each other. Although, obviously, you have to make sure that there's proper fire exits on each side for fans to get out. Structural works and safety approval would be required. These changes cannot be implemented mid-season. So again, it's too late to do it. It's too late to do it now. Yeah. Short-term ticketing trial. For an upcoming Community Day match, Blackburn have retained their away allocation, meaning unused tickets cannot be reassigned. I don't know what that means. The club will trial a community trust seating arrangement in the lower tier to test future usage of the stand. So they've comped, presumably, kids to sit. But luckily, I think, they have They have netting at the front because they don't want them to sit ahead of the top, because obviously scumbags above, they'll spit on the people below, throw coins down, all kinds of piss on them, all kinds of weird fucking shit that these people do. Yeah, especially Northerners, you know. So obviously they're going to be under the ceiling, so they'll be protected unless they're disabled. Yeah, but I don't understand what they've retained their away allocation means. Doesn't that happen to all? That happens to all away allocations. The reason why they say initial allocation is because you only take as many as you think you're going to sell. So if you take 1,900 initial allocation, you take that, you sell that, and if you want more, then they can get more. And they'll do it in batches of however many they think they're going to sell. So that's always been the case. So that's, I don't know. Ipswich away allocation. Yeah, here we go. Supporters questioned Ipswich's previous larger away allocations. League rules generally cap away tickets at 10% of capacity or 2,000, though allocations can vary depending on fixture circumstances. Yes, I believe in the FA Cup it's 15%. Obviously, because why is that? Because the FA take a percentage of the ticket sales. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And the away team take a percentage as well. So it's obviously at the moment, the home team take all of the money from the tickets. It used to be that they would split it, but now, yeah. So when you go to Ipswich, you're paying money to Ipswich. When you go to a team, you're paying money to that team. A 2,000 allocation would apply in the Premier League. Oh, it's going to be a bit of a bun fight if we get in the Premier League. So we're going to take 2,000 fans only. Have they already decided this? Or because I think there are grounds that we could get more tickets if they wanted to give us to them, but I don't think they would want to give us to them, So it's going to be 2,000 at Man United. It's going to be 2,000 at Old Trafford. It's going to be 2,000 at the Emirates. 2,000 at London Stadium. Well, they're going down, aren't they? But, only 2,000, so wow. I mean, it's probably too late now because obviously it's 2-year rolling. Those loyalty points, boys. Those loyalty points. Wow. I mean, what can you do? You probably have to try and sign up to the home section, I guess, with an email now. What can you do? Get friendly with Premier League fans, I guess, and get them to buy you tickets in the home section. Well, there you go. That took a while. That took a fair old while, didn't it? Don't worry, we're going to talk about the game tomorrow now. This is from southernnews.co.uk. Millwall boss says relegation battling Blackburn Rovers will have to go for a win at the Den. Indeed they will. Indeed they will. Alex Neil expects relegation battling Blackburn to have a go at the Den after a midweek setback. Rovers travel to SE16 on Saturday, just 1 point above the drop zone after a 1-0 defeat to relegation rivals Oxford United on Wednesday. Their third loss in the past 4 games. Oh dear. They are also under new management on the football pitch. Not the Indian chicken people. They're still there. Valerian Ismail, Blackburn's head coach when the Lions lost 2-0 at Ewood Park earlier this season, was sacked and replaced by Michael O'Neill on February the 13th. O'Neill led the Rovers to 2 wins in his first 2 games in charge, but has since gone winless. I need to watch Blackburn. The last time I had a look at them, they were 3-4-3, so we'll have a different test again. I think at this stage of the season, particularly for teams at the bottom, and the games are going to be much more. They need to have a go and try and win. So it's not going to be kids coming here and just seeing how the game works out. It's going to be another challenge. I think the biggest challenge for us at the moment is the fact that we've got a few bodies missing. Because when we're at full strength, it doesn't matter who we're playing or where we're playing. And we'll see how the bodies look and who's available. So we might need to freshen things up again and see who's ready to go. Obviously, We're playing Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. Yeah. It's not necessarily, maybe players need to be come off the bench, rested, that kind of thing. But we'll see. So, information for you, the supporters, ahead of this game. This is from millfc.co.uk. Tickets for this fixture are sold out. There will be no sales on the day. If you do not have a valid match ticket for this fixture, please do not travel to the Den. Although, I think if you do travel, there will be a few tickets that people need to get rid of. And they usually try and do that outside the ticket office. If you are collecting tickets at the ticket office, then the club strongly advises that you arrive early to prevent lengthy queues building before kick-off. The ticket office will open at 10 a.m. So windows 1 to 10 are to buy season tickets for next year and home game ticket collections. So just to collect tickets. That's it, that you've already paid for. Although, Windows 11 is inquiries only. Now, if you want to buy a Norwich ticket, which I said maybe a lot of people will do, you have to go round the back. So you have to drag your arse all the way around the back and buy a Norwich ticket there. And you can also buy season tickets there. So if you wanted to buy a season ticket, you see the queues at the main ticket office are too much, you can go round the back. So there you go. There's a community day thing. I told you about that the other day. And the Wicket group, is that still going? Yeah, it's still going. You can still do that. If you want to replace your Maguava with a thing, that's still going on, etc., etc. There you go. On the pitch preview, Millwall versus Blackburn Rovers. This is from millfc.co.uk. Alex Neil's side are in SC16 for the second time this week and will hope to back up Tuesday night's 1-0 success over Derby County as the Den hosts Community Day. Caleb Taylor, Ryan Leonard, Casper Denor and Alfie Doughty will all have their fitness assessed before kick-off, with Alex Neil expecting to have the same squad as midweek available otherwise. Dan Kelly, Massimo Luongo and Lucas Jensen remain out. If you can't make it to the Den, you can buy a match pass on Millwall TV if you're an overseas subscriber. Obviously, not available for people in the UK or Ireland, unless you use a VPN. Right. Here we go. This is from livesoccertv.com. As reported, last week, Viaplay have done a deal. Viaplay have shown every single EFL Championship game in the countries, except for some reason, I don't know if this is what this is about. The Netherlands is not showing up now. So I don't know what happened there. Maybe it's a mistake. Maybe it's just an oversight. Maybe it should be there, but it's not. But as usual, Viaplay Denmark, Viaplay Finland, Viaplay Iceland, Viaplay Norway, Viaplay Sweden. They will now show every single EFL Championship game, I think for the next couple of years or so. So, good for you. Good for you, my friends. Now, pre-match stat pack. Josh Windias. This is from EFL.com. It is regarding the games tomorrow involving EFL teams. And it's got Millwall Blackburn Rovers. Now, you as a Millwall fan may be aware, this is a fixture that will put the frighteners on any Millwall fan. This is a game that even before the awful 4-3 a couple of seasons ago, that we just don't win. We just don't win. We haven't even played them that many times because we've been in different divisions. But when we do play, we lose, not only home but away. Yeah, both sides of it, our record against him is very, very poor, as demonstrated by the first fact here. Millwall have won 2. So this is a must-win game for us tomorrow. This is a game we need to win. It's not going to be over if we don't win it. We do have to depend on our results. We've got a long way to go yet. It's not going to be over. But this is a must-win game for us. Millwall have won 2 of their last 20 games league games against Blackburn Rovers. And they have both been 1-0 wins at the Den. They have both been squeaky 1-0 home wins. In 2019-20, that was the COVID season. Does that count? And 24-25. That was last season. So, last 20 games, home and away, it's been Millwall have won 2, drawn 6 and lost 12. Wow. Blackburn have won 16 points in their last 7 league games against Millwall, winning each of their last 2 against the Lions. So the last 2 games, they've won them. They won 16 points from 7 games against Millwall. They've won 5, drawn 1, lost 1. Yikes. Millwall have lost 4 of their last 6 league games when starting the day 20 points ahead of their opponents in the table. What? Losing 3-1 to Portsmouth most recently in February despite a 20-point pre-match advantage. This is the problem that we have. This is the problem that we all have. This is the thing with the players. They puff their chests up and they put it on when we play the teams at the top of the table. When they've got something to prove. When they want to show, oh, you think you're number one? No, we are. When they play teams at the bottom that they're expected to beat, we look like fucking idiots because we lose quite horribly. So the 6 league games, so we've lost 4 of them. What happened to the other 2? They don't tell us. Oh, we won 2. So the last 6 games, when we have been 20 points ahead of the teams that we're playing, the last 6, we've won 2 and lost 4. So obviously one of them would have been the Sheffield Wednesday game. Maybe both. No, probably the last two wins would have been Sheffield Wednesday. Maybe. Because obviously they're on minus points. I mean, wow. So if that is true, that both of those wins are against Sheffield Wednesday, anytime we play a normal team that we're 20 points ahead of, we lose the game. That's madness. That is absolute madness. But obviously, that's what we do. That's the Millwall way. Blackburn have won 5 of their last 8 away league games in London. Oh, fucking hell. Here we go. Winning 3-1 at QPR in their most recent capital visit. 8 games in London. Blackburn have won 5, drawn 0, lost 3. Oh, it's over, innit? It's over. Hang on. Mihailo Ivanovic has netted in 2 of his 3 championship appearances against Blackburn, including the winner in a 1-0 at the Den last season. Bosh. There you go. For some reason, I don't know if the Blackburn kit is similar to a kit in the Serbian team back home that he fucking hates. I don't know. Is it the Red Star kit? I don't know. I think they play in stripes, didn't they? I think they do play in blue and white stripes with a red star on their thing. But we'll see about that. So the stats are not looking good. Let's have a look at this. Here we go. The historical record of games between Millwall and Blackburn Rovers from 11v11.com. And as you can see, it started out so well. Little did we know, the first ever game at the Den, 1938, was a 4-1 win. Happy days. Well, not for long. Because like I said, we weren't in the same league for much of them, for many times. So we don't play them again until 1967, and by this time, something's changed, because here we go. We drew, we lose, we drew. 1970, 3-1 win, 2-0 win. We don't win again until 1979, 1-0 win. And then we don't win again until 1991, although there's only 3 games in between those 2 wins. But, from that win in 1991, the 11th of May, so that was at the end of the season, by the way, we win that game. There's 7 games until we win again. The 8th game we win on the 14th of July 2020. 14th of July? Was that a pre-season friendly? No, that was the COVID season. The games were delayed because the season was... they ended up finishing it later on. So is that an anomaly? Because you have that one result. We come back. We lose 2-0 in March 2021. We drew 1-1 in August 2021. We lose 4-3. That game, the game on the 8th of May 2023, we were 3-1 up at half time. How are we losing it 4-3? We needed to win that game to get in the playoffs. And we were winning it. Season after, October 2023, we lose 2-1. Last season, game before Christmas, 21st of December 2024. This is before Alex Neil came in. This is before he came in. He came in on 30th of December 2024. Did he not? We win 1-0. So this will be Alex Neil's first home game against Blackburn Rovers. But he also had his first away game against Blackburn Rovers, didn't he? Yeah. That didn't go too good. And the first, he was in charge for that game there, where we lost 4-1, and for this game here, where we lost 2-0. So the curse has followed Alex Neil, unless he can break that curse tomorrow and help us win the game that we need to win. So, let's have a look. What's going on? This is from whoscored.com. Match facts. Millwall have won 6 of their last 7 matches in the Championship. Yeah, but we haven't played Blackburn, have we? We have not played Blackburn. Blackburn are undefeated in 10 of their last 11 matches against Millwall in all competitions. Yes, this is true. Last 6 games, as we've just seen, we've won 2, drawn 1, lost 3. So it has improved, technically. We've won 2. We've only scored 7 goals. They've scored 9. 6 yellow cards for us, 11 yellow cards for them. If we look, we are 3rd in the table. £68 points. 20 wins from 37 games. That's not bad, is it? Not bad at all. 51 goals scored, 41 goals conceded. If we have to scroll down to get to Blackburn, they are just above the relegation places. Although this table is not accurate because it does not add the points deductions, because this is a table that's designed for people who bet, and obviously they bet based on results, not on administrative errors. So this table is not accurate. It's accurate in terms of the football that's been played, not the stuff off the pitch. But they are in danger of going down. They had a little spell when the manager came in, won 2 games in a row, and they've not done too well since. They lost to Oxford the other day, as we've just heard. So there you go. Right, we are at home. We are the 3rd best home team in the division. 36 points from 19 home games, 11 wins, 3 draws and 5 defeats. 5 defeats at home. That have been some of the most weird and bizarre games that we've seen, really. I mean, to be honest. So, if we lose to Blackburn, it wouldn't be a shock, shall we say. It wouldn't be a shock. If we can lose to Wrexham, we can lose to Blackburn. Right, while we're here. Blackburn, their away form. They have won 6, drawn 3, lost 9 away from home. They've only scored 16 goals, which looks to be one of the lowest away goals tally in the league. It's up there. It is up there. Down there. Very low amount of goals scored in away games. Let's look at the current form. There you go. As you can see, 5 wins, 1 defeat in the last 6 games. Looking good. Blackburn Rovers, 2 wins, 1 draw, 3 defeats. Okay. If we go down. Okay. Right, let's try this again. There you go. Right, so if we look here, you can see the last 6 home matches for Millwall and the last 6 away matches for Blackburn. And as you can see, apart from the away game at Queen's Park Rangers, who are absolutely useless because they let Middlesbrough beat them 4-0 the other day, they seem to be just coasting along to the end of the season. Blackburn beat QPR 3-1, but they failed to score at Oxford, they failed to score at Norwich, they failed to score at Ipswich, they have scored at Swansea and they have scored at Derby, but they lost those games 3-0. In fact, they conceded 3 goals quite a lot. They conceded 3 against Ipswich, they conceded 3 against Swansea, and they conceded 3 against Derby. And they conceded 2 against Norwich. So they do concede goals there. They do concede goals. And they haven't kept a clean sheet, have they? If we look at Millwall, there is that Portsmouth game. That the anomalies do pop up. They do exist. They can happen. Although that was a midweek game, wasn't it? So this game is on a Saturday at 3:00. Will it be that bad? I don't know, but we've kept clean sheets in the last 2 home games against Derby and against Birmingham. I think that's part of Crammer going in the middle. You saw Crammer against Aguimang. We got very lucky in that game. I think, like I said, I think not that Caleb Taylor's lightweight, but if it was Caleb Taylor versus Aguimang, I think Derby would have scored at least 1 goal. So Crammer going up against Aguimang, he had a tough all time of it. He didn't, he wasn't like he bossed Aguimang. It was very hard for Crammer, but he did what he needed to do. And we kept that clean sheet. We kept a clean sheet against Birmingham. We kept a clean sheet against Charlton. So, but we conceded 3 against Portsmouth. We conceded 1 against Sheffield United. We conceded 1 against Swansea. We have scored in these games. We haven't failed to score at home for a while. So, there you go. Here are the strengths and weaknesses. As you can see, A lot of strengths for Millwall, not many for Blackburn. You go down. There you go. So, here we go. Match prediction from WhoScored.com. Josh Coburn scored a critical goal in Millwall's season on Tuesday night as his first half finish proved enough to score all 3 points against Derby. The Lions have clocked in 4 straight league victories, keeping pace with their promotion-chasing rivals. Blackburn were unable to respond to Jamie Donnelly's 34th minute opener at the Castleham Stadium as Rovers were beaten 1-0 by relegation-threatened rivals Oxford United. The Lancashire side have picked up just 1 point from their last 12 available and are now only 1 point clear of the relegation zone. And they say it's going to be Millwall 2, Blackburn 0. Millwall 2, Blackburn 0. Now moving on to this from sportsmole.co.uk. It's their preview that they've done. There's a lot of work here. But we don't have time for that. We've been going for an hour and 25 minutes already. If you want to read this, go to sportsmole.co.uk and read it for yourself, or just pause it as I scroll down, because we're going to the bottom to get a score prediction for a second opinion. And they say, Millwall 2, Blackburn Rovers 0. There may come a time when realisation sets in at Millwall and they start to contemplate possible promotion. However, we do not feel that it will occur in this game, the Lions having more than enough in the tank to see off Blackburn. Do they though? Do they? I don't know. The hoodoo that you do, will the hoodoo be on us? I don't know. I think we do have cosmic protection this season. I think we are a different breed. There's something magical happening. Will the magic be enough to sustain us tomorrow to a win? I think so. I think it's going to be Millwall 1, Blackburn Rovers 0. Yeah. As seen, the last 2 home wins have been 1-0 wins. Same tomorrow, 1-0. And on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.